and down the back. And if your hands are resting on your thighs, make sure your elbows have a bend in them. And imagine there was a weight in your elbows and it's just dropping down. So it's just drawing your shoulders down and away from your ears. And then it's an active seat. So we're going to try to draw that lower belly up and in and find some lift through the spine. And you might close your eyes to begin with here, just to tune in. So for the next 50 minutes or so, this is about your own practice, your own breath, your own body. Just notice what comes up as we move in different ways, as we breathe. And just collect some information about yourself for the next 50 minutes. It could be collecting information about your physical body, collecting some information about how you're feeling in your mind. And be as objective as you can with that information. So it's just information. And maybe once you've got that information, you can use it in the rest of your day. You might approach things in a different way depending on what information you collect. Or you might just put it there in the drawer and let it be. As always, the poses, the movements, the suggestions. Make the practice your own. So let's just draw that attention now to the jaw. And let's find some softness. Maybe tongue dropping away from the roof of the mouth. A little space between the upper and lower teeth. And now bring your attention to your eyes. And imagine your eyeballs moving towards the back of your skull. And finding some space between eyelids and eyeballs. And finding about 5 cycles of breath. Allowing your inhales to lengthen you up. Your exhales now to begin to draw some action, some activity in that lower belly. So drawing that lower belly up and in. So using your inhales to lengthen, your exhales to stabilize your posture. And if possible, breathing in and out through the nose. And now keeping that awareness of the breath as we begin to move. So on the movement that already exists of the breath, we're just layering some more movement. So with your next inhale, reach your arms wide and lifting them up overhead. And then on your exhale, arms wide and down by your side. And let's do that again. Arms lift on your inhale. And arms lower, exhale. And lift, inhale. And lower, exhale. And now on your inhale, arms will lift. And on your exhale, right arm lowers and reaching up and over with your left. Inhale and lift through center. Exhale, other side. And inhale, lift. And now twist towards your right. Exhale. And inhale, lift. And twist into the left. Exhale. And inhale, lift. And now interlacing your fingers and bringing the hands to the back of your neck, base of your skull. Rest your head into your hands on the inhale as you open those elbows. And then on your exhale, bring those elbows close together, chin to chest, and any amount of rounding here. And then again, open up on your inhale. You might look up towards the ceiling. And then round, exhale. And inhale to open. And exhale to round. And now on your inhale, open. And now on the exhale, we're going to cross the right elbow to the left knee. And then on the inhale, we'll open through center. And now left elbow to the right knee. And let's do that again. Inhale, center. You might even look up. Exhale, right elbow to left knee. And inhale, center. And left elbow, right knee. And now on your inhale, back through center, release those hands, reaching them up. And on your exhale, lowering those arms down by your side. And actually walk them behind you. Plant your fingertips behind you. Send your elbows towards one another. And find a little arching of your spine here. So a back bend, chest forward, and maybe gaze up. Take a full breath in. And full breath out. And then on your inhale, back through center, arms will lift. And as you exhale, lower those hands in front of you. Walk your fingers forward, coming into a forward fold. And actively walk your fingers away from those sit bones. Take a full breath in. And full breath out. And then on your inhale, walk your hands all the way to the right. Maybe you cross your left hand over the right. Get some extra space in the left side of your body. And then as you inhale through center, and we'll go to the other side. Now right hand can cross over the left. And find that stretch through the right side. On your inhale, back through center. And now slowly walking your hands back towards you. And coming back into your seat. And let's bring the feet to the mat, knees bent. And we'll plant those feet wide, outer edges of your mat. And we'll bring hands to the shins, and on the inhale into cow pose, chest forward, gaze up. And then on the exhale, rounding the spine. And let's do that again. Inhale, forward, lift your gaze. Exhale to round. And one more time. Inhale. And exhale, round. And now as you inhale back through center, little movement in the hips, hands to the outer hips. On your exhale, knees to the right, look over to the left. Inhale, come through center. Exhale and switch sides. And inhale, center. And then again, knees to the right. And center. And to your left. And now as you inhale, come back through center. Bring the soles of the feet together, knees wide. Lengthen your spine. Inhale here. And on your exhale, any amount of forward folding here. Just up to you early in the practice. Okay, take into account, those hips have been in a different position most of the morning probably. So they need a little opening here. So give them some time. Breath in. And breath out. And then on your inhale, let's lift. And let's come into a boat pose. So first bring those knees in towards your chest. Find that balance on your sit bones. And then maybe your hands come behind your knees and you lift your shins. Maybe they come parallel to the ground. And maybe here in your boat pose, you find a little movement in your ankles. Little rotation in one direction, and then in the other. And then you can point those toes, and then flex the feet. And then again, point, and flex. And one more time, point, keep your shoulders relaxed. and flex. And now from here, cross your ankles, plant your feet, using your hands or not, make your way up to stand, and we'll meet in mountain pose. Okay. So in your mountain pose, take a look at your toes, lift them, spread them, and then soften them down onto your mat. With your next inhale, reach your arms up. And then on your exhale, side stretch. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, other side. Inhale, center, forward fold, exhale. Halfway lift, inhale, fold, exhale. Bend your knees, chair pose, inhale, hands to heart, exhale. Rise all the way up, inhale, side stretch, exhale. Back through center, inhale, other side, exhale. Center, inhale, forward fold, exhale. Halfway lift, inhale, fold, exhale. One more round, chair pose, inhale, hands to heart, exhale. Rise up, inhale, side stretch, exhale. Center, inhale, other side, exhale. Center, inhale, forward fold, exhale. Halfway lift, inhale, and planting your hands, stepping back, downward facing dog, exhale. With your next inhale, lift your heels as high as you can. And then on your exhale, lower your heel. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. And one more. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Now on your inhale, come out into plank pose. And on your exhale, downward facing dog. 2 more times. Inhale, plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. And inhale, plank. And downward facing dog, exhale. Let's take another breath in. And then on the exhale, lowering the knees. And we'll meet into it in a table pose, bringing those knees in line with the hips, those hands in line with the shoulders. Spread your fingers here. And with your next inhale, right leg will rise. And on your exhale, lower the ball of the foot, push the heel away. Take a full breath in just here. Full breath out. And then as you inhale, that right leg will rise and find a bit of a back bend. So you're kind of lifting your chest, lifting the leg up behind you. And then on your exhale, knee to chest. And now is the rounding of your spine. Lengthen, inhale, find a bit of a back bend. Exhale, knee to chest. And one more time. Inhale, that back bend, that lift. And exhale, knee to chest. Now on your inhale, just lengthen out. And on your exhale, knee lowers. Let's do the same thing with the left side. Left leg rises. And on your exhale, ball of the foot plants, pushing the heel away. Pause here for a moment. Breathe in. And breathe out. With your next inhale, we're lifting that left leg. And again, keeping that knee long, extended. We're just like reaching up, lifting the gaze too. And then on the exhale, knee to chest, rounding. Lengthen and lift, inhale. Exhale to round. And lengthen and lift, inhale. And exhale, round. Now on your inhale, just lengthen and lower that knee down, table pose. Inhale, chest forward, gazing up. And now on your exhale, come onto your fingertips, round your spine as much as you can. So chin to chest, push those shoulder blades away from one another. Push the space between the shoulder blades towards the ceiling. Another full breath in and full breath out. And then with your next inhale, let's come onto the forearms. And here, align your elbows with your shoulders and then elbows with wrists and wrists with middle finger. Okay, and see if you can keep those fingers spread, palms planted. With your next inhale, reach the right leg out behind you. And then on your exhale, cross that right foot over to the left. Inhale, lift that right leg. And exhale, bring it over to the right, any amount. Inhale and center. Exhale and cross to the left. Inhale, center, and over to the right. And inhale, center, one more time, over to the left. And inhale, center, and to the right. And now on your inhale, back through center, and let's lower that knee down, exhale. Same thing with the left side. When you're ready, left leg rises. And exhale, cross that left foot over to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale to the left. Inhale, center. Over to the right. Inhale, center. To the left. And one more time. Inhale, center. Right. And inhale, center. And left. Now inhale, center, and coming back onto knees. On your exhale, lower those sit bones to your heels, and let's find a child's pose. And anything you'd like to do with your arms, whether it's bending the elbows, whether it's bringing those arms by your side. See if you need to recover that breath. So maybe a deeper inhale and an open mouth exhale. And take one more full breath in. And full breath out. And then with your inhale, coming back onto hands and knees, and then tucking those toes, downward facing dog. And once you get to downward facing dog, looking at your toes here. And as you look at your toes, see if you can widen your shoulder blades. So you're drawing the shoulder blades towards your hips and a little out to the sides. That will give you some space in the neck. Take another breath in. And breath out. And then use your inhale to walk your feet to your hands. And exhale to fold. And just finding a little movement in those hips and in those hamstrings. So bending the knees, straightening and swaying a bit from side to side. If you could bend one knee at a time. And swaying those hips gently. Take another breath in. And breath out. And then with your next inhale, release those elbows, bend your knees, coming into chair pose. And as you exhale, bringing hands to heart. Straightening legs, straightening arms. Inhale, side stretch, exhale. Back through center, inhale. Other side, exhale. Center, inhale, and forward fold, exhale. Halfway lift, inhale, and now plant your hands and step your right foot all the way back to the back of your mat. So we're bending into the left knee, we're keeping the right knee lifted, and here, good place for blocks under your hands if you wish. Okay, or if you need to bring the floor a little higher. Okay, keep pushing that right heel back as you reach your front shin forward. Back of the knee, it's almost like kind of lifting towards the ceiling. And then from here, on your inhale, drop your hips, bring your chest forward, lift your gaze. And then on your exhale, straighten your front leg, hips back. And let's do this again. Forward on the inhale. Exhale and back. And one more time. Inhale. And exhale back. And now on your inhale, come forward. And let's lower that back knee down. Plant your right hand and then come into a twist towards your left. Take a full breath in here. And maybe on your exhale, your left hand lowers to that leg behind you. And you push the floor away and you lift a little higher through the crown of the head. Take another breath in. And breath out. And one more full breath in. And full breath out. On your inhale, that left arm comes all the way over, plant it to frame the front foot. And on your exhale, straighten your front leg, coming into half splits. So you could scoot your hands back, bring them under your shoulders. Again, you could bring those blocks with you. Try to square your hips. Take a breath in. On your exhale, you might fold over that left leg. Let's find about 3 to 5 breaths. Sending those sit bones back. Maybe drawing the left toes towards the shin. And then finding some softness in jaw and eyes. One more full breath in. And full breath out. And then on your inhale, bend into that front knee, walk your hands forward, frame the front foot, tuck the back toes, lift that back knee, and we'll make our way into plank pose. Left foot steps back. We'll pause in plank, so draw that belly towards your spine, spread your shoulder blades. Take a full breath in here. And then on your exhale, lift those sit bones up and back, downward facing dog. Chin towards your chest, finding that space in the neck. Breathe in. And breathe out. And another breath in. And breath out. And then on your inhale, walking your feet to your hands. And exhale to fold. Inhale, bending your knees, coming up into chair pose. Exhale, bringing hands to heart. Inhale, pushing the floor away, rising all the way up. Exhale, side stretch. Inhale, center. Exhale, other side. Inhale, center. Forward fold, exhale. Halfway lift, inhale. And planting your hands, and now it's the left foot that steps back, coming into that low lunge. And just taking a moment just here to push that back heel back, to reach that front shin forward, to find that tension. Take another breath in, breath out. And then on your inhale, let those hips drop, let that chest come forward, gaze up. And then on your exhale, straightening the front leg, hips back. And 2 more times, coming forward, inhale. Exhale back. And inhale forward. And exhale back. And now on your inhale, coming forward and lowering that back knee. We're going to keep the left hand down, opening into a twist towards the right. And then on your exhale, your right hand can come behind you, maybe rest on that leg. And then try to push the floor away with that left hand so you're not dropping into the wrist or the shoulder. Crown of the head is reaching up. Breathe in. And breathe out. And another breath in. And breath out. And then as you inhale, right arm comes all the way over, plants. And then we'll straighten that front leg, hips back, half splits. So again, set yourself up here, level the hips, so you might need to draw that right hip slightly back, push the left hip slightly forward. Get your hands straight under your shoulders, and if you find your spine rounded, come a little higher on your hands. Okay, so you can get those shoulder blades towards one another and towards the back ribs. And let's find that breath. Okay, folding any amount, as long as you can keep that neutral spine. And it will be different between sides, so allow that also to happen. See if you can hear your own breath. And take another breath in. And breath out. And then as you inhale, coming forward, bending into your front knee, planting your hands, tucking the back toes, lifting that back knee, and we'll make our way back into plank pose. And once you arrive in plank, take a moment to spread those shoulder blades, okay, to push the heels away, to draw that lower belly up and in. Take another breath in. And then on your exhale, lift those sit bones up and back and downward facing dog. Breathe in and breathe out. And another breath in and breath out. And then use your inhale to walk your feet to your hands and forward fold, exhale. Inhale, bending those knees, chair pose, arms lift, and exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, push the floor away, rising all the way up, side stretch, exhale. Inhale through center, other side, exhale. And inhale, center. And now on your exhale, bring your feet a little wider, turn your toes out. And then begin to bend those knees, and we're going to come all the way down into a squat. Okay, so you might need to wiggle those feet a bit, find the right distance for then those sit bones to drop and the spine to lift. If your elbows are on the insides of the knees, use those elbows to push those knees wide and back. Full breath in right here. And full breath out. And another breath in. And breath out. And then we're going to lower those hands all the way in front of us. And just walk your fingers forward. Try to keep your knees and hips just the way they are. And just reach your fingers away from your sit bones. Take a full breath in. And full breath out. And one more breath in. And breath out. And now walk those hands back towards you. Bring those hands back to your heart and now really press through your feet and slowly begin to lift those hips in and lift those fingers all the way up towards the ceiling. And then now just turn your toes forward, still keeping some space between your feet. Bring the right hand around the left wrist and pull the left wrist up and over to the right. And then inhale through center and switch your wrist other side. Exhale. And inhale center. And now arms wide and fold all the way down. Now bring those feet back to hip width, big toes closer than your heels, and wrap your arms or in front of your legs or behind your legs. Let your head drop. Imagine the inner thighs or the inner seams of your pants moving towards the space behind you. Full breath in and full breath out. And another breath in and breath out. And now releasing those elbows, begin to bend your knees, lowering your sit bones towards your heels. And then we're going to plant the hands and you're going to come, so don't lower those sit bones all the way down, come kind of halfway, and then see if you can come onto the balls of the feet and then lower your knees. So you're coming onto your knees. And then just a little massage for the toes here. So with your hands planted outsides of your knees, we're going to come all the way over onto the balls of the feet, and then over the toes, onto the knees, and onto the tops of the feet. So just rolling like that a bit. So now from the knees, over the toes, onto the balls of the feet in that kind of squat. And then coming forward, lowering the knees and onto the balls, onto the tops of the feet. And then a few more times like that, going back. And then going forward. And going back. And going forward. And then now when you go back onto the balls of the feet, then we'll lower those sit bones down and we'll find a seat, legs in front of us. And from here, let's find again a little movement in the hips. So bring those feet wide, knees bent, hands to the outsides of your hips, lengthen up your spine, inhale. And on your exhale, lower your knees to the right. And now bring your left hand over to the right side and rotate on your spine as you find a twist, turning towards the space behind you. If you bring awareness to the front of that left hip, you might notice a bit of a stretch there of the thigh. Let's take a breath in and breath out. And then on the inhale, let's come back through center, lifting those knees, and then lower them to the left. Bring your right hand over, and now you're finding that rotation on the spine, turning towards the space behind you. And maybe you can get that stretch through the front of that right hip, right thigh, as well as the stretch that you're feeling more in the waist, just from that twist. And another breath in and breath out. And then as you inhale, come back through center. And now bring those feet hip width. Make sure you've got the strap nearby. We're going to eventually make our way onto our backs. So take a full breath in, arms in front of you. And then on your exhale, come halfway down. Now on your inhale, draw the right knee in. Exhale and straighten that leg. Inhale, knee comes in. Exhale, foot lowers. Same thing with the left knee in. Exhale, straighten any amount. Draw that knee in and plant. Take another breath in here. And now on your exhale, lower all the way down onto the mat. And bring those heels a little closer to the sit bones. And we're going to kind of release those hip flexors from what we just did. So arms by your side, and when you're ready, bridge pose, lifting your hips. And you could stay, or you could float in and out of it, lowering and lifting the hips. And take about 3 to 5 breaths. Try to keep your toes soft, your jaw soft, your eyes soft. Another full breath in. And then on your exhale, we'll all lower those hips down, back to the mat. And just take a moment to ground the back body. So you might just broaden that lower back by widening your feet, letting the knees rest against one another. And then kind of tucking that tailbone, like as if you were trying to lift that tailbone between your legs. So that's going to neutralize that lower back, bring it a little closer to the mat. And then climb up the spine of the back body, so get your back ribs also onto the mat. And then the same with your shoulder blades, so if you need to lift the shoulders a bit and then drop them down and wide, you could do that. And then bring awareness to the back of your neck. Make sure to lengthen that neck. Chin slightly tucking towards the chest. And just right here, take a breath in. And a breath out. And now as we find the strap and we begin to stretch those hamstrings a bit further, outer hips, every now and then remind yourself about that back body and about keeping it on the mat and grounded and to a certain amount relaxed. So we'll begin by bringing the strap around the ball of the right foot. And here you could choose to bend the left knee, or you could lengthen that left leg out, or keep some action in the left side. And just drawing that right leg towards the chest and checking out that right hamstring. And just as we mentioned when we were beginning class, collecting some information about this hamstring, this right leg today. And you could test pressing up through the heel or pressing up through the ball of the foot, or keeping your toes drawing towards you. Just notice if there are any little differences in sensation. And let's take a breath in here. A breath out. And now opening that right leg out to the side, first by bringing that left hand out into a T, so staying grounded through the left side of the body. And then let's open that right leg out. Press through that left glute, the left heel. Breathe in here. And breathe out. So noticing any sensations in a thigh, still maybe that hamstring. And then any sensations in your hand and arm, because that arm and hand is holding the strap, is controlling that stretch in the leg. So make sure you've positioned that arm properly and well, so that you're not stressing the wrist or the fingers. And then on your inhale, let's bring that leg back through center. And we're going to switch the hand. So now it's the left hand that grabs the strap. The right hand is your counterweight. Comes out into a T. And then with control, that right leg is crossing over towards the left side. And here you can try and keep your left toes pointing up, so inner thighs are drawing towards one another. The belly button is pointing towards the ceiling. That right shoulder blade is grounded. Breathing in and breathing out. If your left toes are pointing up, you could now roll onto the outer edge of that left foot. And you might feel that you can go a little further with that right leg. And then again, notice any sensations here, any change in those sensations. And then as you inhale, let's come back through center. And our right hand can grab the strap once again. Your left hand could rest on your belly or by your side. And we'll make some circles with that right leg. And you could let some of the strap go, so it gives you a bit more range. And those circles can get a little bigger. And then we'll go from those bigger circles in opposite direction to gradually smaller circles. And then eventually those smaller circles get so small that it's almost stillness. And you can give that hamstring just an extra last stretch, drawing that foot towards you. Breathe in. And then on your exhale, release that right leg and let it lengthen out onto the mat. And just taking a moment to notice any sensations that come up on that right side. Take a breath in and exhale, let it go. And then from here, we'll switch sides. So left foot is going to come into the strap. And try to use the ball of the foot rather than the arch. There's a bit more cushioning there. And it can be a little intense, the strap around the arch. There's not much cushioning there. And just getting acquainted with this left hamstring. Get curious about any differences between sides. And as you do this, notice if your chin has begun to lift and the back of the neck has gotten compressed. And if that's the case, make sure that you walk the crown of the head a little further back. You gently draw the chin slightly in towards the chest. And you could try pressing up through the heel and then pressing through the ball of the foot, spreading those toes. Notice if there are any changes in sensation in the back of the leg. And then bring your right arm out into a T, ground through your right side and open that left leg over to the left. So to have a little control over the stretch and over your left leg, you want to activate that left glute. Okay, so imagine that outer hip drawing in towards the midline, like towards the tailbone slightly. So because we're stretching the inner thigh, the opposing muscles contract and will help that inner thigh release a little further. And they also help you control that stretch, the amount of stretch, because that leg is quite heavy. Take another breath in and breath out. And then on your inhale, bring that leg back through center, switching the hands. Left hand grabs the strap, counterweight with your right hand grabs the strap, left hand out into a T. And then when you're ready, that left leg goes over to the right. Right toes pointing up for the moment. Inner thigh squeezing, belly button turning towards the ceiling. Breathe in and breathe out. And you can now come onto the outer edge of that right foot. That left leg might go a little further, but try to still keep your left shoulder blade on the mat. And now as you inhale, come back through center. And we'll find those circles with this left leg. Your right hand could rest by your side. And as you let go of a bit of the strap, you can find bigger circles. And it might help to visualize here the head of the femur bone in the hip socket. And just that potential for wide range of motion. And then let's switch direction. And let's go from those bigger circles to smaller ones. And eventually to stillness, drawing that left leg in just a little bit more. Just some extra stretch for the back of the leg. And then as you're ready, release the strap and lower that left leg onto the mat. And if both legs are long, just take a moment to notice any sensations here. And let's just get a little extra action in those legs. So now point your toes and really squeeze the glutes, thighs engage, contract all the muscles in your legs here. And then on your exhale, relax them all, toes out, heels in, glutes soften towards the mat. And let's do that one more time. Inhale as you contract, squeeze, reach through the toes, almost feel yourself lift off the mat. And then on your exhale, as you relax, you drop into the mat. And if it's comfortable to stay with your legs as they are now, you could rest like this, moving into Shavasana. If this is not that comfortable for your lower back, you can bend your knees, planting your feet, and letting the knees rest against one another. And your hands could rest on your belly or down by your side. And give yourself a breath in here. And let the exhale drop out of the mouth. And with each exhale, letting your body get closer and closer to the ground. And maybe just entertaining that idea, what if you were part of the earth? You don't have to hold yourself up or separate. But if you could let your body be soft and just melt into the ground. For just a moment. Now just noticing where your attention is at. And just bring it to your breath. Then use your breath to gently move fingers and toes, ankles and wrists. And then eventually roll onto one side. Take a breath in. A mouth open, exhale. And from here, make your way up to find a comfortable seat. And we'll meet there with hands at heart. And just taking this moment to acknowledge the practice, to acknowledge ourselves for practicing, to acknowledge those who practice with us, to acknowledge those who make it possible. And we'll end with a word that means that the light in me recognizes and honors the light in you. Namaste.
Namaste.